Thanks, guys. Firstly, thanks to the organising committee for this conference. Awesome stuff. Well done, guys. Look, I'm Jackie ropes me into a lot of things, actually, but they're normally pretty good values. So I'm really honoured to be here, particularly talking to families. I think that there's a message that's coming through from what I've heard this afternoon and this morning is that you got to listen out for people who are talking what you want to hear. You know, you'll be talking to people, but they're not speaking your language. But there's a lot of good people out there who are creative, who've got good ideas, have a real sense of vision, and Gina's a perfect example of that. That was awesome, Gina. Well done. Good work. Look, a few years ago, in 2012, this is how the wheels move a bit slowly, but we had a situation, I guess, where I've been dabbling in inclusion at a tertiary level, and that rolls off the tongue all right, but it's quite challenging. If you imagine universities and students with developmental disability, it's not traditionally the place that you find individuals like that. And when I worked in secondary schools, I gave inclusion what I think a real good crack. And I did my PhD, and then I started working at university, and I wanted to explore what that was like, what inclusion looked like at a tertiary level. And so I was working with a colleague who was head of the drama department. Yeah. And we came up with an opportunity to explore inclusion in a drama production class for third-year education students, and they volunteered to be a part of it. I'm going to flick through a couple of slides, and I'll let the I guess I'll let the video do the speaking. Do the speaking for me, and I'll just slide along. So it was basically a third-year drama performance unit in which students volunteered to be a part of it, and we had some community members, some of whom had additional needs, to come along as well. So there were 12 students altogether. We've got a few people in the room who were here. Never seen the video before, so it's all a bit exciting. Yeah. So a few years, maybe a year or two earlier, I had a young lady called Anna, and Anna has Down syndrome, and she was in a third-year education unit of mine for a semester, and she was a ripper, Anna. Well, she is a ripper, and so it was interesting. Prior to going to the to looking at inclusion at a tertiary level, which I say is somewhat challenging. I went across to Flinders University, and they've got the Up the Hill program there in Adelaide. And probably what I was hoping for is, if we're going to include, try to find a way to really include them. And so, being a typical academic mercenary, I had Anna in my class for a semester, and then I wrote a journal article about it. Anyway, so inclusion at university, but it was all about, can we do more than open the door? Can we do more than that? And that's what we're trying to explore. And drama is, I'm not even really involved in the drama program. It just so happens that they're right next to me, the drama space. So I've known a lot of drama students over the years, and they've been really good students to work with. So it seemed like a good space to look at inclusion. But it gets tricky because these students have to be assessed. It's not just come along and muck around. So we're going to find ways to assess, and what we did was they had to maintain a reflective journal, and we assessed them in a reasonably rigorous manner, I think. And the students also had handheld their phones and iPads and recorded hundreds and hundreds of hours of vision. So, which we were going to use for evidence in terms of assessing the students. And essentially, they were looking at a way to include students more, or to create inclusive drama pieces. And they initially thought about a production, and then they were thinking about Eli here, and they imagined, I guess, after time, getting to know Eli a little bit more, that one week Eli might have a certain part, but you would guarantee the next week you don't want to do that part. So they thought that a ongoing series of performances would be a good thing. So that's what they were exploring. But in creating this, what I wanted to do was establish that, you know, because I looked at a DVD of inclusion at in Alberta actually, and the production was quite slick, and what we wanted to do is have a look at what it really looked like, and felt like to a certain extent. So theirs was very slick. Ours is the opposite of slick, whatever that word is. But so yeah, real. So I had some grand plans, then I ran out of money, and but these inclusion projects, it's like it's the gift that keeps on giving, because someone said, well, we've got third year film students here at the university, and they've got to do this collaborative assignment. How about you go and pitch to them about this, you know, project, and if they're interested, they'll volunteer. So we got 3 film students who are awesome people to work with, and they got these hundreds of hours of video and pulled it together, and I had several meetings with them, but it wasn't to basically, it was really rather organic really. I just said, look, I want something real, I want something a bit quirky, something like a film trailer, how about that? And so anyway, that was the brief, and I said, oh, and awesome too, just by the way, just in case you're confused. So, okay, I reckon I'm going to go out. Look, if I want to put it into terms of context, because I think I'll play the video, and then if you've got any questions or anything, we can go for it. But what I want to do, if we put it in the context of behaviour and change, look, I'm telling you, everyone changed. It was a really transformative experience for all of us, and I wish I had vision of a certain couple of events, and one involved Matt and Eli. And right at the beginning, Matt did a bit of a reconnoitre up to ECU to check out the space that we were going to work in, and Eli loved it, and he was happy to be there, but he didn't want to go. He didn't necessarily want to go, and he broadcast that reasonably loudly, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, you got all these academics doing important stuff, and they're shushing and all this sort of thing. I'm going, oh man, you know, Jackie, and then over time, you know, everyone just went with the flow and just got used to it. And the vision I'd like to have was on the last session, which was on Friday afternoon. All the guys who were involved in it went down to the ECU tavern for a drink, and everyone came along, and it was just, everyone had been on this journey, which was a really interesting journey, and it would have been nice to have some vision there and then, but anyway, we've got some good vision nonetheless. So, Jackie, yeah, I might call on you just in case I bugger it up. You want to? So I just minimise this, yeah. All right, here I get ready. Can I? That'll disappear in a tick moment.
bunch of people getting together and doing some weird activities. I think, honestly, it was us, because we were drama students, it was us creating drama-styled activities, performance kind of activities, where we'd get together in a room and we'd just give stuff a go. We'd be moving, we'd be, talking, we'd be dancing, we'd be being silly. Nothing was really too serious, I don't think, when we were in there. We had moments of stillness or of, quietness when we could really observe something.
Drama is actually not really a subject. I think it's a process.
By running this unit, the university gives a chance for students to have a much deeper understanding of people with diverse needs and interests. And I think the depth of this understanding should be apparent almost immediately when these students enter a workplace or a community.
The IPP was conceived out of interest from the outside community to explore opportunities for young adults with additional needs at university, and came about by colleagues prepared to take a risk. But none of this happened by chance. It was all pretty well planned. University staff such as myself acted as consultants, but the whole project was student-driven, and ultimately, this is why it was so amazing.
setting the tone at that point in time. It was directly affecting how people would be perceiving the performances. The basic understanding of performance, you know that lighting is huge in terms of what we perceive. So a red light is going to bring out alertness and danger, whereas soft blue light is going to bring out comfort or sadness, whatever the symbol is. And came clear to us, okay, if we want to get Eli involved, we're going to have to get a whole class on lighting. So that whole class was based around lighting, with the end product that ended up with Eli sitting by the projector, putting sort of different lights over it as he saw fit. But he was completely and utterly involved and included in the process of our performance, which is the end goal of what we're going for here, is a class that was inclusive. So that's a real success. Okay, whole body going, John. All right.
Come on, John.
Everyone's just chilling out now after a very long, draining day of activities. Very entertaining day of activities, I dare say that.
I think universities are trapped in a situation where they're not really expanding their thinking. Universities, by definition, are places of risk and learning and not confining themselves to what's always been happening.
About 1.5 minutes to go. It's a slow burn.
Something else. Something else.
Yeah, it's coming. there you have it. That's what it looked like. How much time have I got? 3 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Look. it was a really interesting, for me, you know, I just want to learn stuff, you know, and that was a real learning experience for me. For the students involved, half the time we were just watching them go, man, I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's pretty awesome. And not long after that, a couple of the guys who I teach into a unit called Programs and Curricula for Students with High Support Needs, all right? And we wanted someone to speak about relationships with students who might have complex needs, and I got a couple of these guys to come and speak in this class, and you wouldn't have known it. You would think they'd been in this area for years on end, and it was amazing to watch them from what they'd learned in that you know, relatively short period of time. So good experience. I'm always up for interesting things, but it's always about time, and to make these happen, these things happen at university isn't simple. It's actually, there's a fair bit of work that goes behind the scenes, and like I say, particularly because these students need to be assessed in the class. It's a unit that they're paying for, and it just so happens that students involved in this particular group love getting high grades. So they want to be assessed fairly and rigorously, so we need to find a way to do that. I guess we've got a minute and a half then. Has anyone got any questions? Want to ask? That'll do it then. All right. Cheers, guys.